you don't really feel successful and it bothers you. You don't like that feeling. You're sitting there wondering, when is the feeling of fulfillment and everything gonna come? I've gone and I've gotten this degree, I got this job, I've done this, I've made these connections, these relationships, I've networked with these people, but I don't feel successful. Well, chances are you might already be successful in certain respects. You just don't know it yet and you haven't recognized it. Or, let's say you're still in process. You're in school, you're working hard, or you have a hobby, you have a passion, you're doing that, or you're working towards a better relationship with someone who you are very close with. You might not feel successful when you get there. When you've accomplished whatever it is that society deems as success. You've gotten that certificate, you've made that friend, you've made that connection, you've bought that property, whatever. You might not feel that way. The reason why? Again, you are successful, but you just don't recognize it. I'm going to explain what I mean. So, the issue is that you're viewing success as some big event, some big rush that just happens all at once. And it can be that way for certain people. Don't get me wrong, it can be. But for some people, there isn't a huge contrast where one day you go from having nothing that you want to the next day, it's just this big rush and you have everything you ever wanted, right? For most people, it's a gradual process. It's a gradual step. You would have noticed that type of overnight success if you went from one day having not enough to the next day having everything, right? You would have noticed it. It would have been such a huge change, such a huge contrast that you in your head would have said, yes, this is success. But the fact that it happens so slowly, so gradually over time, you don't really realize it. So you are actually successful if you look back at the condition you were in last year or last month, right? But when you look at the condition that you were in yesterday versus today, you're like, well, I don't feel like I've gotten anywhere. Well, that's because for most people it doesn't happen that way. So we kind of have a very skewed and limited way of recognizing success when it appears. I'll explain it like this. It's almost kind of like losing weight, or for some people, you might want to be gaining weight, right? Or you might realize that you've gained weight over time. Let's use the losing weight example, right? You might not realize that you've lost the weight. If you're on a weight loss journey, if you're on a fitness journey, you might not realize that you've lost the weight. You know what I'm saying? Incrementally, every day when you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't look that much different because it happens so slowly. From day one of your weight loss journey to day two, you're not gonna see any difference when you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror, right? But a year into your fitness journey, right? And you look back at a picture of yourself from day one, and then you compare it to a picture of yourself on 365, or when you look at yourself in the mirror on the 365th day, you're like, wow, look at this change. That is what success looks like. That's how you would recognize success. Only when you have spent a great deal of time in that activity. You get what I'm saying? So just because it didn't happen all at once in this big exciting moment doesn't mean that you have not gotten somewhere. You have. We just need to tailor and adjust our perception so that we know what success looks like when it has arrived. And so the interesting thing about it is that you might not ever really feel successful, even though you are. you might not ever feel successful in the way that we see it on TV, because success for most people happens so slowly. So you might go through your life never really feeling successful, like from an emotional standpoint, right? From a knee-jerk reaction, like, oh my God, like a rush, like roller coaster standpoint. You won't ever feel successful. But from an intellectual standpoint, from just knowing, like that analogy that I just told you about the weight loss, you will just know that you are successful because logically you can look and say, this is what I had a year ago, and this is what I have now. So it might not for you bring all the just exciting emotions and stuff like that you think come along with success, but you just have to know that you are actually successful. It just won't ever feel that way. And so that's why a lot of people go through their lives not content with what they have, even though they could have millions, right? They could have the best relationships. They could have the best jobs, the best everything, right? But because they don't know how to recognize the tiny changes, recognize the tiny bits of success as they come, as they accumulate over time, because they don't know how to recognize that, they never really feel like they've gotten anywhere. And so sometimes you have to stop and realize that you have gotten somewhere. You might not be, the CEO of the company yet, but I mean, you went from working the mailroom to being a manager, right? And had you gone from mailroom to manager in one day, you might have felt successful, right? But you went from mailroom to manager over the course of, let's say, 5 years, right? Still the same outcome. The same thing happened. But why is it that the 5 years doesn't feel successful when that's, typically what's realistic? It takes time to work your way up to get to what you need to be, right? So you should still feel successful, and it is good that everyone understands that they have to be content and recognize when something positive is happening to them. Otherwise, no matter how much success you get, right? You could become a billionaire. You're still gonna be discontent because you don't know how to be happy with what you have. And at the end of the day, what's the point of all of these accomplishments? What's the point of all these relationships? What's the point of all of these opportunities that you get, business deals, partnerships, if it doesn't actually make you happy, if it doesn't enrich your life, if you're not able to sometimes, pat yourself on the back and celebrate your wins, if it doesn't make you feel anything good, if you're not able to recognize and say, oh wait, I'm supposed to feel good about this, why'd you do it, right? What's the point? So what is equally as important as being able to put in the work and grind, it's also equally important for you to know when to celebrate your wins, set many goals, and reward yourself when you have reached those goals. That is the only way that you will feel successful, that you will remind yourself to feel successful. Hi, my name is Chukunon So Captures. I'm a photographer. My photography journey has brought me into the presence of some truly remarkable people. They've taught me some amazing life lessons. So I feel it's only right that I pay it forward and pass some of those lessons along to you, offer them to you to start a dialogue so that I can see what you think about them. So let me know in the comment section below. What are you currently working on in your life? Do you feel successful? Do you not feel successful? Does it feel like everything's supposed to happen all at once for you? Are you in some type of field where maybe you're an artist, or you're an athlete or something like that, or maybe you're an entrepreneur and the symbol of success for you is when it happens all at once. You get some type of big break or something like that. Or are you in a lifestyle or a path in life where it's long, it's like a slow process because you really need to be under someone's mentorship, under someone's tutelage? Are you in some type of professional field? Are you a doctor or a lawyer or something that requires a lot of school and just a lot of expertise and years of experience? Do you feel successful? Do you remember to reward yourself? Do you remember to set these small goals that you're able to accomplish? So whatever field that you're in, large or small, we all have our amazing place in this world. So let me know what your journey, what does success mean for you? Because for some people it's not a dollar amount. It is it's the quality of relationships that you have with people. You know, the material things don't really bring you joy the same way. Connecting with people and being able to bring people together and having to have quality relationships and having family makes you feel rewarded, right? So let me know in the comment section below what you think about this message. Do you feel successful? Do you not feel successful? Share this with a friend. Maybe you know someone who does feel successful or someone who doesn't feel successful. Are they able to recognize it when it comes? Did it come all at once for the people that you knew? Or did it take a long time for yourself or the people that you knew? So please like this video if it resonated with you in any way. Share it with a friend. Hit the bell button to get a notification anytime I post new videos. And please subscribe as well if you'd like to support this message and continue to hear more things about the things that I've learned in my journey through life and photography. Thank you. Take care. Stay blessed, and I will see you in the next video.